Hello friends, so today in this video I'm going to show you the looping techniques in Python. Specifically I'm going to show you the for loop and the while loop. In most of the scenarios, these two are the most commonly used looping techniques in Python. And these two are the only ones, to be specific. In the core Python package, there are no other looping techniques apart from these two. So let's get into it. As you can see, I have already fired up my Jupyter notebook so that I could what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new notebook here, Python 3 notebook with IPython kernel, and I'm quickly gonna demonstrate to you the looping techniques. Let it load. So first we will start with for loop. Let me comment it here. For loop, or let's make it a markdown to be better. Yeah, for loop. For loops are very simple. It's for loops are most useful in the case when you have a list and you need to iterate through each of these elements. For example, let's create a list called list1, which has the elements m, n, k, 0, 9 and 90, and I want to print each of these elements in my as my output. So let's write a program for it. For I in list 1, the Python syntax of colon, enter, indentation. It has automatically indented because it's Jupyter notebook, everything is set. Then I'm gonna print I. The I here is the ith element of the list. For example, when the list is in index 0, it will print which also means the value of I is 0. It will print the 0th element of the list, which is m, and then n, and then k. So let's hit shift plus enter and see what happens. As you can see, m and k, it has printed as it should in the order. Alright, so with the help of for loop, let's try to print the numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, so when I was in college and my teacher was teaching me the concept of loops, so what she told me, how she taught me was like, suppose we need to print the number, we need to enter the number from 1 to 10. We need to use the numbers from 1 to 10. What are we gonna do? We can simply write 1, 2, 3 till 10, right? Declare a variable and put these values inside it, and then use these values in some function or something. But what happens if we need numbers from 1 to 100 or 1000 or 1 million, say? In that scenario, looping comes at our help. We can simply write for I in. Now in Python there is a function called range. So before going further in the loop, let's discuss more about the range function. Let's create a cell above and we will demonstrate the range function here. So let's see what range function outputs. Let's enter from number 0 to 1000. Let's hit space plus enter. Okay, so it just shows it has just written range 0 to 100. What does that mean? It means that it has returned a range object, which is an iterable object. Iterable object, that means it could be used in looping. So let's see what it has returned. Let's see the type of it. Range. It's a range object, as I've told. Now let's try to print it. Again, range. However, we can convert it in a list and we can see all these numbers. Now you can see it has converted our range object to a list object, which has the numbers from 0 to 1000. It will have numbers from 0 to 999 because the last number is not included in this range function. Alright, so with that said, let's use this range function, which returns the range object, which is an iterable containing the list of all the numbers in the sequence in our for loop. Range brackets, and we will write from 0 to suppose we need to print the numbers from 0 to 10. So what are we gonna write? We're not gonna write 0 to 10 because the last number is not included. So we are gonna write 0 to 11. Then print it. And as you can see, it has printed. Okay, so that kind of concludes our discussion for the for loop. Now let's see how we can achieve these two ways of printing the iterable object, the elements inside the iterable object. We have while loop. Okay, so let's make this cell as a markdown, and I will write here while loop. Shift plus enter. So the syntax of while loop is quite different from for loop. We're going to use a different keyword here, and that keyword is while. If you want to know the background of while loop, the concept of while loop is very old. Even from the initial days of programming, when we had the languages like Fortran or Basic or COBOL, it also has some looping concepts, and while loop evolved from that. So okay, so now let's see a basic example of while loop. While loop does not contain we cannot declare any different variable here in while loop. For example, if we have declared I here, we cannot do that in while loop. So how can we iterate through all the elements of list 1? Because we do not have the ability to declare a new variable I here. What are we gonna do is create a new variable called, say, j, and equate it to 0. J equals 0 while j our task is to iterate through all the elements of list 1. So while say j is less than length of list 1, the len function on list 1 returns the length of list 1, which means it counts the number of elements in list 1. Same colon, enter, auto indent, and print. Now we are not going to write here j, because j is just a number of an index. It is not like I contains the particular variable in that index. No, j does not contain the variable. J only is a number. So we're gonna write list 1 of the jth index. Let's print it. And after that, there is a feature of for loop. Here the I, for example, gets auto incremented. However, in while loop, auto incrementation is not done. So we are gonna write I equals I plus 1, or we can use a shorthand for that. We can delete this I from here. We can write I plus equal to 1, which increments I by 1. And I'm really sorry, it was not I, in fact it was J, because we have declared J here, not I. Alright, so I guess everything is done. Let's hit shift plus enter and see if it is returning the correct results or not. Okay, enter. So it has returned MNK0990. MNK0990, which is correct. And let's print list 1 here as well to see if it is correct or not. MNK0990. Yeah, it is correct. And how are we gonna iterate through numbers 1 to 10 using while loop? Simple again. This time let's create a new variable. Let's call it x. It equals to 0 while x is less than we are gonna print numbers till 11. We can write as x is less than and equal to 10 colon. Here, as you can see, we have not used the range function because, as I have already told you, this x contains a number. It is not a particular element from an object, from an iterable object like for loop. Okay, so now we're gonna print x and we're gonna increment x by 1. Let's see what it prints to us. It prints the number from 0 to 10, which is correct. So that concludes our discussion of while loop and for loop. While loop and for loop has so many different applications in Python. It does not end here. These are just simple ways to iterate through your iterable object, through your data structure. It is very important, like in whole of your Python program, you're gonna use the concept of loop multiple times, and you will get habitual with using the while loop and for loop. If you want to practice the looping, I would suggest you to go to this website called HackerRank, and you need to sign up. Yeah, you need to sign up for job seekers. After signing up, you will get I already have an account. Okay, let's see if I can sign in here. It is taking a little time. Actually, my internet is a little slow today. So after signing up, what you can do is you can go to this practice. You can go to this prepare tab, where you will find a separate block for Python, which includes all the Python problems. You can click on that. And I have already, since I have already solved a lot of problems, I will uncheck this thing and I will uncheck all the other things. And I just wanted to show you that it contains a lot of problems based on loops, where you can practice it. As you can see, it has problems for Python's if else, and then see loops, and then click on it, wait for it to load, and here is a problem based on the looping concepts of Python. You can try to solve this problem, and there are many other problems like this in HackerRank. And apart from Python, you can go back to the Prepare tab. You can click on problem solving, and in problem solving there is a separate section for loop, I guess. Let's see that. There is warm up, implementation, strings, sorting, search, and so many different things. Let's click on strings. So these are all the string problems. Let's see this. You can implement the solution based on Python, and you can select here Python 3, Py3, and there's this problem which you can implement in Python as well, and you are going to use for loop here, so you can practice it this way. So I guess this is it for now, and we will meet in the next tutorial, which is going to be in some other concept based on Python or some other programming language or some other technical concept. For now, bye bye, and thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and comment any doubt that you have, or if you want to appreciate my content, please do comment it. Thank you.